little bit different?
So you're in control of the hunter, moving her in real time there. You're at the Abbey, which is an entirely new superhero headquarters that we created with. You walk through Limbo and you get to your next mission. And that's kind of one of her powers, and she can display this stuff in combat as well. Yes.
All right,
we're gonna play some combat.
We are going to play some combat. And again, you know, we are a tactics team through and through. I'm so proud of the designers we have here and the folks that we know this characters and how they're going to move and the superhero flair that you're going to see. But first, we wanted to slow down before we start playing this thing fast.
Let's talk
about what the mechanics are
Let's talk about
right?
the abilities, right? Because so right now the hunter's in a great position to fire off this ability.
Ooh.
Yeah, knock an enemy into another enemy. But you can also discreetly move your characters around the battlefield, and you'll have to. To be able to use different abilities or different effects in the environment. I mean, the idea is that the game is meant to move pretty fast. It's still very deep. I love that ability.
That right.
He just KO'd that person. By the way, he buried an axe in their head, and then they just were knocked
gentle KO. Okay.
Knocked out. Right?
This is heroism for free. So that's what we're going to do with Hunter, and that's going to lead into this powerful ability.
Yeah, and so the hero combo, again, a big attack. The way that you unlock these abilities is actually through the Abbey. So we talk about how the relationships that you have with these heroes, and this, it's very awesome and very powerful. You unlock these super powerful attacks by forming a relationship with the heroes involved.
Last man standing.
Oh, here we go. Ooh, Blade. Gotta go Blade.
I mean, of course.
So again, that's an encounter. You know, they play very, very fast.
Why is it that for every one of these sites we take out, it seems like 2 more appear in their place?
Patience. Hydra certainly lives up to their name.
I've hunted an actual Hydra. That was easier.
Easier than this. I live up to my name, too. Hell of a price Crossbones put on your head, runt. Too bad he never said it had to stay attached to your body. Well, too bad for you. Big words for a dead man.
You got one thing right today, Sabretooth. Heads are definitely about to roll.
Oh, look. Another mangy stray.
You smell wrong.
Compared to him?
Good point.
Now I get to kill 2 runts with 1 claw. Maybe I should be paying Hydra.
Hey guys, I would be lying if I would say I'm not excited about this very iconic duo.
Cinematics in the game. Obviously, we're telling a very deep story, and part of that story, of course, is introducing these villains. And this is the first villain we've shown, but we have a large cast of characters, not just heroes. We've got, you know, again, as I said, 12 Marvel heroes plus the Hunter. We also have a large cast of villains for the player to fight against. It's what makes Lilith so powerful. So again, she's the ultimate enemy. The thing that's cool about her, if you imagine the most dangerous people in the Marvel Universe, she's equally dangerous because she can corrupt people with a single touch. So not only do you fight villains like Sabretooth here, but you'll fight what we call Fallen, where Lilith has corrupted villains. She's corrupted even heroes that the player's gonna have to fight against over the course of the game. So yeah, very deep narrative. A lot of narrative comes out, not just through cinematics, but also you'll experience in-game as well. And now we're fighting against Sabretooth, and yes, you're right, this is an iconic matchup, right? Wolvie, the best at what he does, Sabretooth, kind of good at what he does. Very deadly character, and so you're gonna have to require your entire team to take him out. All of our villains have a bunch of unique abilities, and also a unique flair to them. He has an ability called Frenzy, and that means that every time you take an action, he may respond, right? So you have to be really careful, you have to be very efficient in what you do, because Sabretooth responds very quickly. So you can take 2 actions, then he's gonna fight back.
So you have to like anticipate when he goes on that frenzy, kind of.
Yes, like for now. But yeah, I mean, I love Sabretooth. We've introduced, here we're introducing Wolverine for the first time. This is where you meet him. This is pretty far into this is a good 10, 12 hours into the game when you meet Wolverine and you unlock him. So there are characters you unlock through play. This is the moment when you sort of meet Wolverine for the first time. And so again, Wolverine, a completely different play style, completely unique set of abilities.
Can you go into his abilities a little bit more? Like what makes him so unique and different from the other characters?
Yeah, so if you think about Wolverine, he's very savage. He has the ability to attack multiple targets. So he has what we call chain. He has a lot of ability that chain to multiple targets. And at the same time, he can taunt enemies. And that means that he can draw their fire. When he attacks them, then enemies target Wolverine after that. And that's great because Wolverine has the ability to regenerate health. He's very low on health here. Garth, you doing okay, bud?
Let's use a little berserk. I'm gonna get some life steal on there if you want to mention that.
Well, that's fine.
I believe in you, Garth. Like, you can do this.
Fine. As you can see, Sabretooth, huge health bar.
Heavy hitter. Definitely heavy hitter.
Definitely a heavy hitter. And so that's good. Wolverine has got some life steal going on and sent that guy to the moon. But yeah, this is the problem with Sabretooth, right? Is that he just doesn't stop. And this matches how he is in the comics as well. Like, Sabretooth doesn't stop,
Yep.
So you have to always kind of be on your toes here. One thing that's worth pointing out is that as you move, you can continue to move until you use an ability, right? And so you can position yourself just perfectly. Until you use an ability, you can continue to move around the map.
And the movement balance is one of my favorite parts as movement. If you play tactics, you know how critical it is. But it's this wonderful balance of you can choose to play more methodically and find that single precise movement position to take advantage of the enemies, but it's not every single turn, every single action you make that decision.
Can't heal. Have to keep going.
You'll do.
To your place of refuge.
Right, you're wearing casual clothes, right? Many outfits. We actually have a lot of outfits that.
And look at this room. It looks like some decorating could be done. Can you do decorating?
Joan, yeah, you gotta update the room, and yeah, there's ways to update not just the character, the room as well. Here's your beloved
Horse, Charlie.
right, your beloved Hellhound Charlie, who loves you so much. You can, of course, pet the dog, and there's a lot of benefits to that as well.
Are we going to be able to explore that a little bit more?
We are, and in fact, what's happening right now is the hunter walking onto the common room after combat, and so again, this is really a social experience where after combat, all these heroes are hanging out, and you can choose from different heroes after combat to hang out with, and this is an important part of building relationships.
It is. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. Not only do you have fun in combat, you come back and you have a very, very important choice to make, which is a whole other part of the Marvel fantasy, right? It's not just battling amongst these heroes. It's who do you want to hang out with, Nico Morono or Iron Man, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefit to this, right? There's not just a narrative benefit as they commiserate over their terrible parents. Oh, my dad's not watching because I can commiserate with them as well. But yeah, then in addition to hanging out with heroes, you obviously get to have a deeper experience talking to different characters around the Abbey. We're kind of alluding here, like your dialogue choices can affect the hunter balance as well.
I mean, it's an RPG. There's branching dialogue choices here.
Right.
You mentioned the light-dark balance. The role-playing portion of how you want to craft your hunter and their personality is incredibly compelling. And you'll be able to do that in spades in the Abbey. Uh-oh. What are we doing here, Caroline? You love the dog?
I do.
You walk your dog?
I mean, it looks like it.
Dog can walk with you.
The dog's walking, leading me somewhere special. Okay, where are we going?
So, this is just one of the many things that happens on the Abbey grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So the Abbey grounds are very extensive, which you can explore, and you should. And this is a lot of really interesting optional content that the player can come out here, explore the grounds, uncover a lot more narrative, a lot more gameplay. And so, again, we wanted this to feel like a living space. And so it's not just the interior of the Abbey, it's the exterior grounds as well that feel, appropriately supernatural based on our
again, you think of the world of Marvel, it's not enough to just have a series of menus in between missions or a base that doesn't have a lot of content and substance to it. And the grounds really act as that, since they're overloaded with secrets and mysteries and deep, deep lore to learn more, even in other corners of Marvel that you may be surprised about, the background of the Hunter and Caretaker and other characters.
Right. And there's so much more that we would love to show you.
Keep going. Can we keep going?
And we will. There's so much more to show
soon.
you. And we will.